Pavan Varma. If you read historical text, it's very clear. In some instances, Mughal Emperor Aurangzeb destroyed Hindu temples because he thought that there were political missteps being carried out by temple associates, and he wanted to ensure future submission to the Mughal state of those temples, which is why they were demolished and mosques built in their place. Do you agree with Swapan Das Gupta that there has been for very long a culture of denial, and it is time that there be an acknowledgement and a redressal in cases where redressal is possible?
I certainly agree with what Swapan has said, and I have argued this in some detail in my book on the great Hindu civilization, that there seemed to have been, whether organized or otherwise, an attempt to whitewash history. The fact of the matter, Rahul, is that the Turkic invasion, as Will Durant says, constitutes one of the bloodiest chapters in world history. And there was widespread destruction of Hindu artifacts, including temples and centers of learning. Now, this is a fact. Now, to say on the contrary, to make it out in the interest of a valid proposition of Ganga Jamuni Tehzeeb, to make it out as if the invaders or the Turkic invaders came in a tourist bus and offered us some biryani and we gave them some khichdi and a syncretic culture was built up, I believe is an attempt to whitewash history. So let us accept history. That is something I fully agree with. And as far as Gyanvapi is concerned, Gyanvapi means well of wisdom. And in my mind, from the research I have done, which I have argued in both my book Adi Shankaracharya and the Great Hindu Civilization, there is little doubt that Aurangzeb in fact destroyed the temple that existed on that site. Let me say to you that the temple was destroyed many times before. Qutubuddin Beg Aibak destroyed it in 1194. It was rebuilt by a Gujarati merchant. Then in the 15th century, possibly Sikandar Lodi destroyed it again. It was rebuilt by Raja Man Singh. And finally, in Aurangzeb destroyed it in 1699 definitively, and on that destroyed spot, he built the Gyanvapi Mosque. This much is, from my knowledge of history, fact. In fact, James Prinsep's sketch made of that site in 1834 clearly shows the remnants of a temple under the mosque. So we have enough historical evidence to argue it. In 1780, Ahilyabai Holkar built the temple afresh but on an adjacent site, not at the spot where the Jyotirling was. So this is fact of history. Now, question arises, the second part where I slightly differ from Swapan. We must accept history for what it is. But do we need now to excavate the past in order to fuel acrimony in the present, some of which can go out of control? For instance, the same Aurangzeb, Rahul, destroyed, according to records, 69 temples in Rajasthan. Do we start excavating all of them to see if a mosque has been built, which temple is there? My short point is that having accepted the past, we must move on beyond it, because this is a path where there is no solution in sight. There is no solution in sight only because how much will you excavate and how much will you restore?